children, it's Mrs. Lee here. It's assembly number 2 and it's the week beginning the 11th of September 2023. How are you? I hope that you are okay. Me? Well, thank you for asking. It's been so lovely to hear people saying, "Good morning, Mrs. Lee," when you're out on the playground. But I'm okay too. Right, let's do our routine. Oh, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? Well, I can see that the long hand, which is the minute hand, is on the number 6. And I know that means, that's right, past. I can see the short hand, that's the hour hand, is in between the 11 and the 12. So I put it all together and that means, that's right, 11:30. I don't know if you can see, I'm just going to move you, come with me. There it is, we have our language of the month, and we are in the month of September. And Mrs. Turner would like us to work on Makaton. So that's my cue to go over to the Makaton sign. The Makaton sign changes every week, doesn't it, children? Have a little look at that one. We've had it before. It's a really good one to practice, though. You've got to move book slightly from side to side. So you are making a book shape and you're moving it side to side. That means you are reading. Can you sign reading? Fabulous, children. Now, why is Mrs. Lee wanting us to think about reading? Well, 1 second. As I said, assembly number 2 is this week, and we're going to be thinking about these 3 things: golden rules, Rosh Hashanah, and Roald Dahl. Now, last week you may remember that Mrs. Lee read you the story about the twits, didn't she? Just a little bit. Yeah, that's right. And that was written by the man Roald Dahl. Well, it's his birthday this week. On the 13th of September, everybody in the UK can celebrate Roald Dahl's birthday because he wrote us so many books. Mrs. Lee has brought this one today. It's called The Giraffe, the Pelly and Me. And I'm going to read you just a little bit about this book in a different book. This little book came out and it's called Ladderless Window Cleaning Animals. Now, the reason I have chosen this book, which is linked to this book, which is a Roald Dahl book, which is linked to the golden rule that I want to talk about. Ladderless Window Cleaning Animals, The Giraffe, the Pelly and Me. It's all about the Ladderless Window Cleaning Company. What? Golden rule links to maybe cleaning. Yeah, that's right, looking after property. And we talked just a little bit about this last week in our assembly in the hall, about looking after property. Okay, so looking after property is really, really important. We have so many wonderful things in our school that keep us safe and keep us happy and help us to learn. And our grown-ups have worked very, very hard to make sure they all look lovely. But also we spend lots of, that's right, money on those things. And we need you to help us to keep them looking good, ready for other children. Because remember, the new reception children are starting soon, and they will want to go in the research centre, and they will want to go out on their fitness equipment, and they will want to go on the slide, and they will want to read books like you read. They will want to use everything that you use in school, but do they want it broken and tatty? That's why when we are, what was that sign again? That's right, reading our books at lunchtime when we sit on the benches, I need you to put them back into the box. Throw them on the floor, tread on them. We don't do that because that wouldn't make us very good. What's that phrase I use? That's right, role models. Okay. Now, I also said that this week is celebrating a celebration called Rosh Hashanah, and I have talked to you about this before. Rosh Hashanah is a Jewish festival. So, I'll show you a couple of pictures. This is a little boy who is a Jew. His family celebrate the Jewish traditions. So sometimes this little boy goes to a place called the synagogue. Now, that's similar to a Christian church, or maybe to a gurdwara where Sikhs go, or maybe it's the temple, or maybe it's like the mosque that Muslim people go to. There's the picture of the inside of the synagogue, okay? Now, lots of you last year went to some of the Christian churches that are local in our community. Can you remember? Some of you walked all the way over to the river to All Saints Church, Hertford. Some of you walked downtown to St Mary's Church, which is near the Thinking Soldier, the Market Square. And some of you might have popped just across the road to Trinity Church, which is a round one. Now, those are Christian churches. In this celebration I'm talking about, this is a Jewish festival, and they go to the synagogue, and they might look at a very special book called the Torah, and they may wear these little hats called kippahs. The boys wear those. Now, the celebration I'm thinking about is called Rosh Hashanah, and it's the new year. And you might be thinking, but Mrs. Lee, it's not January. And I know that, but in the Jewish festival, they celebrate the new year around about September, October time, where they think about new beginnings. And I thought that's very similar to us, because we are all new, aren't we? We're new into year 2, we're new into year 1. Maybe some of the teachers and the teaching assistants have moved around, and we certainly have got new reception children coming in. And, do you remember those year 2s that have all moved up over to the junior school? Well, they've got a new beginning too, haven't they? And that's all happening now in September. So Rosh Hashanah is a special time of the year where Jews look back, they think about how they've behaved, and they think, have I made any mistakes? They're being like, that's right, reflective wrecks. They're thinking, is there anything that I need to do to make it all better? They sometimes send cards to each other, and something they like to do is to eat sweet food, and they love apple dipped in honey. How exciting. Now, one thing that the Jewish people do, and I know Christian people do, and Muslim people do, and all sorts of people who are celebrating a particular faith at celebration time, is to keep everything clean and tidy. It's the beginning of the year, and we want everything nice, which links to our golden rule of looking after property, which links to the little bit of the story that I'm going to read about the giraffe, the Pelly and Me. Now, the Pelly stands for pelican, and Me stands for a little boy. And in this book, the boy called Billy meets the giraffe, the monkey, and the pelican. All right, he meets them all, and they go off and they create something called the cleaning company, the ladderless cleaning company. They like to clean windows. Gosh, I don't know if you've noticed, our windows have been cleaned. Anyway, here's the next little story I'm going to read to you. Look at that. They've received a letter. Dear sirs, I have been looking for a decent window cleaner for the last 50 years, and I have not found one yet. My house has 677 windows. Not counting the greenhouse, of course, and all of them are filthy. Kindly come and see me as soon as possible. Yours truly, the Duke of Hampshire. Gosh, imagine having a house with that many windows. Our school's got lots of windows, but I don't think we've got 677. Could you write that down for me? It's a big number, isn't it? Whoopee! Shouted the monkey. Fantastic, cried the pelican. That must be the best window cleaning job in the world. The giraffe stooped low and went out of the tall door. The monkey jumped off the window onto the giraffe's back. The pelican, with Me in his beak, hanging on for dear life, flew across and perched on the very top of the giraffe's head. And that's how they like to hang out. And away we went. We're off, cried the monkey. We're off to see the Duke. It wasn't long before we came to the gates of Hampshire House. And what a house it was. It was like a palace. It was bigger than a palace. Just look at all those windows. Can you remember how many windows there were? Oh, those windows will keep us going forever, said Monkey. Then suddenly we heard a man's voice in the distance. "I want those big black ones at the top of the tree," the man was shouting. "Get me those great big black ones." And we peered round the bushes and we saw this oldish man with an immense white moustache standing under a tall cherry tree and pointing his stick in the air. And there was a ladder against the tree and another man, who was probably the gardener, who had to go up the ladder. "Get me those great big juicy ones right at the top," said the old man. I can't reach them, Your Grace," the gardener called back. "The ladder isn't long enough." I think that's the Duke, isn't it? "Bother!" shouted the Duke. "I was so looking forward to eating those big black cherry ones." "Here we go," the pelican whispered to me, and with a swish and a swoop, he carried me to the top of the cherry tree, and there he perched. "Pick them, Billy," he whispered. "Pick them quickly and put them in my beak." Well, the gardener got such a shock he fell off the ladder. Down below as the Duke was shouting, "Some monster of a bird is stealing my best cherries! Be off with you, sir! Go away!" "Those are my cherries, not yours." "Hurry, Billy," whispered the pelican. "Hurry, hurry, hurry." "I think I'll have that thieving bird for breakfast, you see if I don't," the Duke was shouting to the gardener. "I've picked them all," I whispered to the pelican. At once the Pelly flew down and landed right beside this furious figure of the Duke of Hampshire, who was prancing around and waving his stick in the air. "Your cherries, Your Grace," I said as I leaned over the edge of the pelican's beak and offered a handful to the Duke. The Duke was staggered. He reeled back, his eyes popped nearly out of their sockets. "Great Scott!" he gasped. "Good Lord, what is this? Who are you?" And now the giraffe with the monkey dancing about on her back emerged suddenly from the bushes, and the Duke stared at them. He looked as though he was about to have a fit. "Who are these creatures?" he bellowed. "Has the whole world gone completely dotty?" "We are the window cleaners," sang out the monkey. "We will polish your glass till it's shining like brass and it sparkles like sun on the sea. We'll work for your grace till we're blue in the face, the giraffe and the Pelly and Me." That's written down as a nice little song about their window company. I think they are hard workers. A bit like you. You're a hard worker, aren't you? Right, if you want to read more, can you remember the reading sign, the Makaton sign? That's right. If you want to read more, come and find these books. They are in the Research Centre because it's Roald Dahl Day and I would like everybody to read some Roald Dahl books. We are also going to be thinking about the Jewish festival, Rosh Hashanah, which is the beginnings of New Year's. If you love reading, get your reading card. There are so many of them. We've got reading card 1, 2, 3. We go all the way up to reading card number 25. And I know that there's somebody in year 2 who's going to be using one of those very, very soon because they haven't started from the beginning each year. They've kept this card that they got last year and kept it very, very safe, and then they have been filling it out over the holidays. So I know lots of children have been finding me on the playground with their reading cards. I stamp them, don't I? And it proves how much you have read. And reading always makes us brainy. Okay, Mrs. Lee's going to finish there. Gosh, lots of talking there. Just a few reminders. Remember, people with blue lanyards like this are safe in our school. They're people who we know. But you might see somebody with that's right, a red one on. If they've got a red one on, they should be next to somebody with a blue one on. Also, look out for anybody wearing one of these, because these are the people that can help you at break time and lunchtime. So if Mrs. Lee's outside with one of these on, she's out there ready to help you. Okay. What do we need to remember to finish off with? That's right, our school prayer. So, close your eyes if you want to, put your hands together if you want to. Don't mind, but I do want you to join in with the words. Help me to do the things I should, to be to others kind and good, in all my work and all my play, to grow more loving every day. Amen. Have a lovely, lovely week, children. Come tell me about celebrations that you and your family get up to. Come and tell me about how you've looked after property, and I will love to give you a number in a box from our golden rules. Bye.